Okay, guys, so I just want to quickly go over the method that you might want to use to answer these kind of questions. So you can see that on here, the first one says calculate the range given that domain, the range for that equation, right? So the first thing I did was I copied down the equation. Now notice I switched, I put the y in the back. That's just so it's a little bit easier to read. The equation didn't change. 4 minus 2x equals y. It's the same as y equals 4 minus 2x. Now, so I wrote it down, and then what am I doing? I'm substituting in the domain values. Remember, the domain values are the x values. And it's a good way, if you do it like this, you can clearly see everything, guys. Notice, guys, that all the first terms, the 4, all the first part, the 4, is a constant, right? It doesn't change. It's always 4. So that clearly shows that it's a constant. Minus, the minus doesn't change either. So this is fraction sign. That operation doesn't change. Okay, the next thing you see is the coefficient, which is 2. That doesn't change because the coefficient remains constant, right? The next thing is the x. So these are all the x values. You can see -4, -2, 0, 1, and 3. So those are the things that change, right? And then all I'm doing here is I'm finding those answers. I'm actually evaluating now, right? So I'm evaluating those answers, and let's see what we get. So 4, okay, you can see the 4s are in the front just like they are here, so all I did was copy that. Minus, that gives me plus, right? 2 times 4 is 8. Second one, minus again gives me a plus. 2 times 2 is 4. That gives me 8. So 4 plus 8 is 12. 4 plus 4 is 8. 4 minus 2 times 0 is 0. So I just get 4 minus 0 equals 4. Then the next one is 1. I put the x in for 1. So 4 minus 2 times 1 is 2. So that gives me 4 minus 2, which is 2. And the last one, I replace the x with the 3 from the domain values, right? Domain means x. So all I did was put in the 3, and now I multiply it out. So 4 minus 2 times 3 is 6. And that gives me a value of -2. Now, notice when I put down my answer, the range, just like the domain, is a set of numbers. So I use the set symbol, right? The set of, and I start with the smallest value. So -2, 2, 4, 8, and 12. -2, okay, +2, 4, 8, and 12. And I'm done. All right? So it's nice and neat. It's easy to see. And remember, guys, if you want to know how to indent this, okay, the indent symbol is right here, right? If I go there, it pulls it in. Okay, so that's how the indent symbol works. And you can see that we have a nice, easy to look at screen now, right? All right, I want to go down to question 3. We did this one in class, but I also want to have this available for you too. Now notice, this time they're asking for the domain when you're given the range. So we're given the y values, we want to find the x values. So this is our equation, y equals 3x. And what I'm doing is I'm going to get x by itself because that's what I want. I want to find the x values. So how do I do that? Well, remember, coefficient multiplies the variables next to, so this says 3 times x. So if I want to get rid of that 3, I divide both sides by 3. 3 divided by 3 would give me x, and I have to divide y by 3 as well, because whatever you do to one side of the equation, you do to the other side. Now that I did that, I can clearly see whatever y is, whatever these numbers are, I'm going to divide every one by 3. So -15 divided by 3 gives you -5. -9 divided by 3 gives you -3. 0 divided by 3 gives you 0. 6 divided by 3 gives you 2. And 12 divided by 3 gives you 4. Okay. Now, if we wanted to check these, let's put them back into the original equation and see if it's true. 4 times 3 is 12. It works. 2 times 3 is 6. It works. 0 times 3 is 0. It works. -3 times +3 is -9. -15 times 3, -5 times 3 is -15. So when we go backwards and put it into the original equation, we can see that it all checks. It works out. So our domain is -5, -3, 0, 2, and 4. All right. The next one, guys, I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but I just wanted to call your attention to the fact that, remember, this original says y equals x divided by 4. So if we want to get 4 by itself, since we're dividing by 4, we want to multiply both sides by 4. and that gives us our x by itself. And then all we got to do is put them in. So 4 times -4 is -16. 4 times -3 is -12, and so on. You get the idea. And if we wanted to check it to go backwards, 20 divided by 4 does give us 5, so it works. So our domain value there are -16, -12. Okay, we're starting from here because remember, we're going to start from the lowest numbers, -16, -12, 4, 8, and 20. All the answers, guys, by the way, are posted. This is just a little video to help you along the way to get in the habit of learning how to write these a little bit neater, okay? And so that they make more sense, so you can clearly see what's going on. At the bottom, don't forget the answers were to put down the independent variable and the dependent variable. So the answer should have been D for donuts. That's what Chaz has control over, how many donuts he eats. And he gets sleepy, so he gets sleepy indirectly relates to the number of donuts he eats. The more donuts he eats, the sleepier he gets, right? So that's sleepiness is dependent on how many donuts he eats. Same thing for the next one. Monica, the more bricks that Monica puts on the scale, the more the scale will show an increased weight. Okay, so Monica is controlling the number of bricks, and the W is the weight, which is going to change based on the number of bricks Monica puts on there. All right, the next one. The grade G, the G is what you get on your test, and the questions that are answered correctly, we gave the variable of C. So C directly relates to your grades. Okay, you control getting the right answers. Based on all the right answers, you get a better grade. So you're controlling putting in the right answers, and your grade goes up or down depending on how many right answers you have. All right, the last one, you had to figure out the independent and dependent variables in it. Now, we know that the cupcake she bakes is related to how many guests. So, guys, forget the first sentence. The first sentence is really not important. It just says that Tara throws a party every month. Okay? Okay, great. She throws a party every month. That's not really what we're interested in. We're interested in what's actually happening at the party. So we know that she makes cupcakes, and they're related to how many guests come to the party. So obviously, guys, G we could use for guests, or P for people if you want, and C are the cupcakes. The cupcakes are dependent on how many people are coming to the party. Right? She's not going to cook 3,000 cupcakes and then only have 5 people at the party. It wouldn't make much sense. So she's going to determine how many people are coming to the party before she bakes the cupcakes. So it makes sense for her to know the people first, right? And she has control over that. She can invite as many people as she wants or as few people as she wants. Once she knows that, she bakes the cupcakes accordingly.